Good morning. This is Nifty Culture. I'm Pio, and I'm going to be joined by H Bizzle, also known as NFTSniperBot, in just a second. Here he is.
Sorry, I'm a little late, man. It's tough.
All good. I know it's tough being an ape like you, man, and we're live right now, buddy. I want to let you know that I had to start it, otherwise we were going to lose our YouTube place or whatever.
I'm sorry about that. I woke up
Dude, no worries,
extra
man.
on time and just things got in the way. Well, hey, good morning. We're going to be kind of capped at like 30 minutes today just because I'm on vacation. I got little ones running around and stuff. So let's jump right into it, man.
Absolutely.
This show's about creating alpha. I don't know if I got any alpha left. After last episode, I spilled the beans. I gave you everything. In 1 week's time, it's like a lifetime in this industry. What's happened in the last week? I wouldn't even have enough time to cover what's happened in the last week. But let's talk about from last episode. What did we talk about? Gutters.
Yeah, you talked about gutter cats. So I want to share a little PO Alpha before we dive into the H Bizzle Alpha. People are coming for the H Bizzle Alpha. There's no question about that. They want that
Good.
sniper
Well, I want
alpha.
the PO Alpha. I'm out of alpha. I gave you all my alpha last week.
So the alpha for me is that I like a lot of times my issue has been that I haven't pulled the trigger on things and they've escaped me. You know, there's a lot of examples of that. However, I've been pulling the trigger much more. And last night before I went to bed, I bought one Art Blocks Factory flowers. The total cost with gas included was about 0.42 ETH. I've been watching these since like 0.1, 0.15 ETH, and they just keep moving. And I saw the sales volume and I liked it. And it's Art Blocks, and the Art Blocks stuff has proven in the past to have this like completely outrageous appreciation rate, just totally out of control. And I woke up this morning to a 0.44 offer on the thing that I bought last night with a total cost of 0.42. So I basically could exit with a minimal profit right now. And then I checked the sales volume on the flowers after I woke up this morning. And so if you look at Art Blocks Factory right here, and look at all this stuff that's moving, it's all flowers. Art Blocks Factory has a ton of different stuff and nothing but flowers is moving. Look at this. If this isn't something blowing up, you guys can see this. Here we go. I'm going to make it bigger. Look at this. It's nothing but flowers for the past 10 minutes. Like the word is out on flowers. Like this is my buy right here. So yeah, I went ahead and I bought another flower. I bought this one. Art Block stuff really intrigues me. And if flowers are going to start blowing up at 0.4, dude, the sky is the limit on this stuff. Fidenzas cost $500 a few months ago, and they're selling for $1.5 million right now. So I sniped 2 flowers for basically what amounts to 0.84 ETH total with gas. And I'm going to sit on these things. My mentality right now, because I'm watching my curio cards, which I bought a curio card for... Yeah, like I bought a curio card earlier this month, like less than 28 days ago for 0.15 ETH. The floor is 2.15 ETH right now. And once we get through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 buys in the twos, it gets to 3.5 ETH, and then it gets to 7 ETH. Like people are diamond handing these. They're being auctioned by Christie's October 1st. What's going to happen between now and then, man? That's like 6 weeks from now. And I think that we're on this Bitcoin bull run. Bitcoin's going to rip. ETH's going to follow it. Man, this is going to be nuts.
What's going to happen between now and then?
I'm hearing some echo, man. I'm hearing some echo. Yeah. I'm hearing some echo. You got to get... Okay.
Sorry. All right, a few things. Before we move on to that, Art Blocks flowers, love it. I love the aesthetics, and I actually own one. It's like red little flowers. When I was buying it, same as you, I was staring at it and saying, I love this. This is going to go. And I'm staring at one that like I loved. It was like orange, pink, something, whatever. And with a black background. And it was like at that price, like 0.4 you're talking about. And I'm thinking and thinking and thinking. And only when it goes off market, you know, that particular one they're staring, say, oh man, I really want it. Oh, I know I was right. Someone else saw the same thing I did, and they bought it before I did. I'll take my second favorite, flowers. Is basically what happened with me. I'm jumping on the show. I had no clue you're going to bring up flowers. So that's cool. I mean, yeah, I like it too. A couple of my people on my crew were buying these a couple of days ago too. I think the upside on these hasn't really happened. so much yet. I mean, the fact that you could still buy one at like 0.4, 0.5 is great. That's what I was. Sorry for the background noise. I was just checking to see if I could see. Yeah, I mean, the cheapest is 0.4, 0.42, and honestly, those aesthetically are not as nice as yours or mine. So I think you're getting a little bit more at the bottom of the barrel because people have been picking these off the last couple of days. But I think they're really cool. You know, I think they're cool. Those are cool picks. I want to talk about curio cards real quick. That's amazing that because they're selling a full set at Christie's, everything shut up. Crazy. The Apple, every single one of those curio cards went up. I don't want to say by accident, but a real flyer. I bought that. If you scroll down a little bit, that red one that says cryptocurrency on it, it's like Coca-Cola.
Yep.
I actually didn't mean to buy that one. I only wanted to buy apples. But yes, I bought that honestly for like 0.8, something like that.
The floor is 7.
I know, it's crazy, you know, and I didn't even want that thing in my account. But okay, great. So let's talk about this though. Christie's auctioning off this set has created fire for curio cards. There's something, I think it's card number 26 or card number 29, or the one of the cards, there's only, the numbers I'm missing up. One of the cards is only 26 total. And if you go back to the one of these things here, go up and down, I'll show you, is going for $1 million because there's only 26 of them in the world. Keep going.
It's this one, I think. There's 80 of these total. It's not this one?
No, it's less than that. No, it's less than that. There's like 26. It's a yellow thing. It's yellow. Go up and down.
I know that one. Yep. 1 second.
It went for, it's going for over $1 million. Oh,
here you go. And I think Gary V has these.
Yeah. So I think he set that world on fire. I mean, I don't know if he's the one selling it to Christie's or, I mean, that's out. That's creating alpha because he's calling Christie's and he's saying, hey, you know, I got this deal. And then next thing you know, he signs his deal with Christie's and these things go through the roof. You know, it's like, it's better than finding Hot Wheels at a garage sale. You know, it's finding ETH that's laying on the floor and multiplying itself every night. You know, that sort of thing. So interesting that you brought up the, before we go any further, like out of everything that's out there, everything, because there's so many distractions, the art blocks flowers, that's your hottest. That's your most exciting. I can tell because you brought it up first.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, so it is pretty exciting to me. So I just want to talk about the market for a second. The market is absolutely in everything up mode at this point. So this is my OpenSea profile. More or less everything that I have is going up. It's absolutely ripping. Like I took a flyer on this Wicked Ape Bone Club. I bought it for like 0.07 and the floor is the floor is pushing 0.5. I mean, I definitely should have bought 2 or 3, but you know, it is what it is. But yeah, the floor is pushing 0.5 at this point. And this is like a derivative project that it has been confirmed that they're not going to get DMCA'd by the apes. I don't know if it's been confirmed that they're not going to get DMCA'd by Wicked Craniums. But like, for example, there was this pixel ape project called Ape Gang that I was trying to get out of just because I wasn't interested in holding it. And overnight it sold for a profit. Overnight, I got that offer on my flowers. So at this point, like really, I think we're in a full-blown bull season. I think that it's going to coincide with the Bitcoin bull season, which is going to continue to rip for the rest of the year. That's why I kind of brought up October 1st. And I just feel like, you know, it's big time everything up mode. So if you get quality projects, you're going to be in good shape. This project, Deadfellas, I think is a quality project. And so I got in at about 0.09, 0.1. It's doubled since then. It's at 0.2. I want to say its peak has been 0.3. And, you know, we're not even near like Halloween yet. And I think there's anticipation that around the fall, around Halloween, something like this could rip. And like, it's just a quality project in terms of the art and like quality in terms of the roadmap. So, you know, I'm just looking to invest in quality projects. And when you talk about art blocks and you talk about flowers, I mean, Art Blocks is a proven entity, maybe not Art Blocks Factory, but obviously Art Blocks curated. And I'm wondering if anybody in the chat knows, or if you know, Sniper, is there a way for Art Blocks Factory to become Art Blocks curated? Like, can the Art Blocks people curate it so that it goes in there? Like, do you know anything about that process and how it works?
Other than being lucky that I own the flowers, and that's what you brought up right away, I don't know too much about art blocks. The way I understand art blocks, so I don't know the answer. I understand, and I kind of missed on a lot of the art block stuff just because I didn't understand it in the beginning. But I think it's, from what I understand, art blocks finds amazing artists and they help them technically bring their stuff online and make it relevant in our scene, in our space. I think of them as a studio, almost like an art studio, and they pair up artists with tech. I have no clue about your other question. I'm sorry.
No problem. And I have one question. Are you aware that this art is algorithmically generated?
I'd be happy to learn more about it, but it's generated on chain, is what you're saying. Is it on chain?
Well, that I don't know, but like, for example, Fidenza's flowers, these are not made by a person. The person makes the computer algorithm, the code, and then the computer spits out the art. So Fidenza's, that's an algorithm, which is so cool to me. So when you buy a Fidenza, when you buy a flower, you're buying artwork that's made by a computer.
Well, I think a lot of that, what we're dealing with now, is that, and it's a good topic to bring up. I mean, it's called off-chain and on-chain, right? Like if I take out my iPad, or I take this computer behind me, and I take Paint Shop and Adobe and Blender and whatever, I use all my tools and I make the coolest art in the world, and I just go to OpenSea and upload it, I can mint it. I can mint anything, right? Like anything I want. And it just goes and it says, oh, here's your NFT. Like I made a couple NFTs as a joke. I made like a H-Bizzle moment with Pranksy, because Pranksy liked my tweet or something. So I made like an NFT about it, which was, a joke. But that's what it is. It's a joke, right? When someone just uploads it to, in my opinion, uploads to OpenSea, it's not as exciting, I think, to the community, because I think generative art, where people are making these with computers, and the computers are sorting out the traits to come up with what's going to be the rarest NFT or whatnot, and that's all figured out by the computer and those combinations, and that's everything. I mean, that's on chain. That's what we're doing, right? I mean, that's exciting, and I think that people should be careful out there. If like, someone's just uploading pictures that they put into OpenSea for like an ETH, 2 ETH, 1.5 ETH, I don't care how cool it is. If it's not generative and it's not like part of a real project or process, then I think it's less appealing. And that's it. I'll calm down.
One comment I have, H-Bizzle, is that you have a misunderstanding technically of the on-chain versus off-chain thing, and like the generative thing. So I'm not an expert to talk about the on-chain versus off-chain thing, but the only correction that I can make is on-chain doesn't mean, and anyone in the audience that knows this better than me, please type it in. Basically, my understanding is that when you're talking about on-chain and off-chain, that's more about where the art is sitting on the blockchain, right? Whereas you're talking about generative versus non-generative, whether that's algorithmically generated or not. But we don't need to get into the technicals. That's not what our segment is about, Sniper. Our segment is about getting the alpha out there. And wait a minute, it's been 13 minutes, 14 minutes, and I haven't called this out yet. I can't believe it. We got off to the wrong, we started on the wrong foot, man, because you made the most legendary call that's ever been made in the NFT space, in my opinion. It has to be. I want to hear whose call is more legendary than this. It's not $1 million call, but it's still an alpha call that worked. And that's that last... Well, can I say what the call is?
Yeah.
Last week at the end of the show, I had no idea you were going to do this. You were just like, oh yeah, by the way, I bought a dozen Yetis. And I was like, what do you mean you bought a dozen Yetis? You were like, I bought a dozen Yetis. I thought they were at a good price, and I think that there's room for appreciation. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, you literally bought the joke of the NFT space. You got an amazing deal. I think you got a dozen Yetis for an average price of like 0.01 each or 0.02 each. And since then, they've appreciated, they've been selling, they've been moving. And I feel like it needs to be recognized that Sniper is the guy that put that out there, and it worked. So hats off to you, my friend. I have no idea how you figured out how to do that. I'm so impressed, and I'm excited to hear what you think about that 1 week later.
You know, I'm a tough guy, right? So I'll just talk a lot and defend myself till the end of the earth. But it's not just the show. In life, my crew said the same exact thing as you. Don't spit your coffee out. My crew was like, what are you doing? You're going on this guy's show? You're pitching Yetis? What are you, like an idiot? This show's going to end before it ever started. They were making so much fun of me. And I didn't care. I don't care. It all started because I was giving away a Yeti. So I had to look at the Yeti market a little bit more thoroughly.
Okay.
And then somebody in my crew was like, you know, you're making fun of these Yetis, you're giving them away. At some point in time, they're going to be worth some money, you know? So I started watching the floor, and I started noticing the floor was under 2 cents. Then it was like 2.5, and it's still a joke. Yeah, and now it's actually not such a joke. So I bought 14 Yetis that night. My cost was like 0.0225, like less than 2.5 cents a Yeti. What's it at now?
It's at 0.06, dude. I had no idea. I haven't looked at the Yeti market.
It was at like 0.07.
Dude, I haven't looked at the Yeti market at all. That's insane that it's pushing 0.1. That's
I don't
insane.
even want to push Yetis because I don't think that ton of alpha there right now. But the funniest part was that my buddy owes me a Yeti. He bet against me, and he has to buy me a Yeti now, which is just, you know, bragging rights in my whole crew. It's hysterical. But I'll tell you this, I thought about that, and going into this call, you know why I love that move, and I think other people should learn from it. And, you know, this whole thing is risky, NFTs, so don't play with any ETH or any money you can't afford to lose. But once we get that out of the way, when you're staring at art blocks and you're PO, and you know this is right, and you love it, and you got your rationale in your head, and the thing's at 0.15 and it's at 0.20, and you're staring there and you're thinking, should I get it? Should I not? Should I ask my friend? What does my friend say? What does this guy say? What does that guy say? You gotta believe in your moves once in a while, or all the time. I mean, you just gotta make a move and believe in it, you know? Find something you like. I do prefer aesthetics over rarity tools. You know, like I love rarity in general, checking things, blah, blah. But I've learned from experience, if you have an ugly NFT, it's not as worth as much as you think. If it looks like I don't want to put that on my wall, it's not worth whatever the market's telling you. I promise. I know it firsthand. You know, I've said to myself, why aren't these selling? Because they're ugly. So back to the Yeti thing is it's okay to believe in yourself. Do your research. You know, it doesn't have to be a split decision, but have a thesis, come up with a theory, and then support yourself. The guy next to you, you know, in Discord, the guy in the chat, listen, he wants to make money like everybody else. Everybody in the NFT space wants to make money and figure out how to make money. Doesn't mean everybody has the answers. And I think sometimes you're getting there a little late. You're just waiting for everybody else to let the market, light the market on fire. It pays to be early. It does. So do your research, come up with your theory, and, you know, execute. That's my point. Speaking about other stuff that we talked about Super Yetis. I said to the whole crowd, if you're coming into this space and you have nothing, go buy a gutter cat, because they were 2.3 or 2.2. Yep. I said, go buy yourself a cat and a rat, and you're in the game, you're getting a gift. The only downside with that is the prices have gone up so much. I don't know if that's the same advice right now. If you come in with 10 ETH, you could afford a gutter cat at what, 5.95, 6? I still like gutter cats. I guess I can make a whole theory about that. But let's talk alpha, new stuff. I saw Wicked Ape Bone Club on your thing. I caught one of those. I bought like the NFTSniperBot version of that, you know, like the cowboy zombie, because that's his ape. And I don't know why I was reluctant. I love these things. I was reluctant to grab a whole handful. I don't know why. They look so cool. I should have. Let's talk about ape derivatives and what I noticed in the last week. I was pitching this thing on Twitter and Twitter live spaces. There was a point in time that I said, hey, I got free alpha. And it was so easy. There was a guy who was making 3D Bored Ape. I think it's called 3D. Oh, we got to talk about those comic books too. It was called like 3D Bored Ape Club, and he makes a 3D version of your ape. and he was doing it for like less than 0.1. I think it was 0.5 or 0.08. What's crazy is the floor on those things. I can't even keep up, but the floor is over an ETH, on these derivative of apes. So if you owned an ape and you got in touch with this 3D board ape and he gave it to you for 0.05 or 0.10, right now you could sell it for 1.5, 2. Actually, I have a scary ass story. This was awful. I keep all my stuff on a hardware wallet, and I have this one ape. I delisted all my apes besides one. I have one ape up there at 127 ETH. It's ridiculous. I don't think it's valued at that, but someone wants to buy it, God bless them, whatever. I had the derivative of that ape also. I go to check my phone, and it said that this ape, which is like a Halo zombie ape, it said, oh, this sold for like 2 ETH. I have a panic attack. My heart jumps. I'm like, was I hacked? How did this awesome ape I have sell? I don't know if you're following, understand what I'm saying, but
yeah, because you were like, wait, my ape. Yeah, exactly.
And I thought I was hacked because the derivative. Dude, your brain doesn't process that fast when like you think you're hacked, Anyway, thank God I sold one of those derivatives for 2 ETH, close to 2 ETH. I paid 0.05 ETH, and that was free alpha. So the point of why I'm bringing that up, and my stuff was fine and safe, and whatever. I just had a moment. Something like the Wicked Ape Bone Club it's not necessarily a derivative, but it's got a connection to the apes. It's great art. I think it's great, and I think we're going to see more of that moving forward. I think what was going on with these when they were at the floor and everything was like 0.07, 0.08, 0.10, is that people were coming in and just snagging like Trippy or anything that's really expensive in the ape market. They were copying those trades, and like a Trippy might have went for like 0.4 when everything else was 0.06 or 0.07. That 0.4 Trippy now is probably worth like 3 ETH. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, like, it's hard. It's harder for me. I was just like you, where it was harder for me to have high conviction in this because it's hard to have high conviction in derivative projects. That's why, like I mentioned, I bought one, but I think that this is a really well done one, even though it is a derivative, meaning it's like a straight up, like some people would look at it as like a ripoff, right? But clearly people have liked it. And I've been in Twitter spaces and I've seen a lot of different people rocking it as their avatar. I mean, the floor is pushing 0.5 ETH right now, which is pretty crazy. Do you have opinions on the Bored Ape comic?
I would love to. I wish someone could just tell me what's going on. I don't even understand. There's like different versions of them. I don't know. I have a Bored Ape comic. I don't. Before I get to the Bored Ape comic, let's talk about the Bored Punk comic, because I think I mentioned this last week a little bit. The meta pass,
or the mint pass, you mean?
The mint pass for Metaverse Heroes is like on fire. I think it's at like 7 or 8 or something.
It's crazy, dude.
I think I bought that under 2. I don't know if we talked about that last week. And then the other thing was the Punk comic book is at like 7, and the DAO token for the Punk comic book is 7. And I wish we need to get an expert that knows more than me to come on and explain some of this stuff to me and you. But like, I had 2 Punks comics. I burned one for a DAO chip, which is like 6 or something. I don't know. And I kept the other one, and I thought it was cool. Everybody was burning the other copies, so I just kept it. And now I have one comic book and one burn token or whatever. I love this whole story. I love everything about this Punk's comic book. I love what they did. I even read the comic book. I read it to my kids. I like it. I just straight up freaking like it. I printed it on like a color printer. It looks awesome. I don't know as much about the Apes comic book, but if it's going to do anything like this, I'm in. It's crazy what's gone on with this Punk comic book. Someone posted on Twitter that like, it might have been Beanie. Someone made like $15 million off this Punk comic book situation. Just ridiculous.
Crazy. I'm not surprised.
What do you know about the ape one?
I don't know anything about the ape one aside from it's an ape. That one that I pulled up is the most popular of the ape comics. And obviously I'm basing it off of the strong performance of Punk's comic. So just the context that I have on this, I'm not an expert on this. Video Game Freak, VGF, who's been on this show a number of times, works full time for Pixel Vault, who is the organization that put this product out. And he obviously explains it much better than me. If audience members look up the first video I did with Video Game Freak, the Punks comic is actually on the thumbnail. He goes into detail about Punk's comic in that one. It is a little bit involved, but not that involved. Basically, you had the option to buy the comic, and then you could also stake or burn the comic. It sounds like Sniper burned his for the DAO token. There's different options on what you get for doing those things, and you have the option to get fractional exposure to the collection of punks that's featured in the comic, which are not floor punks. So you're basically buying fractional shares of some of the, some amazing punks that you wouldn't otherwise be able to get exposure to. Some other fun facts is it took 5 weeks or something, 6 weeks for this to sell out. So it was just sitting there for weeks, and then all of a sudden it sold out, and then all of a sudden everybody wants it, and now the floor is like 7 ETH, which is just absolutely unbelievable. I could have bought this for like 0.5 or 0.6 ETH a little while ago, and I didn't, but that's probably one of my bigger misses.
Isn't that like everything else? Everything.
Straight up,
we're all Monday morning quarterbacks. And I want to speak to that just really quickly for the audience. It's like, you don't have, I'm not involved in every drop. People here are asking about some things that I'm not involved in. I'll tell you, my biggest one I missed was on one. I mean, I don't know if I didn't have the, or I don't have the attention span. There's a point in time where I just can't follow more projects, right? I want to be doing diligence and research. I also every day am staring at my apes and counting up all those all day, So it's like, I can't hit every project. I missed on one. I'm going to share some alpha here. I don't even own one of these, so this is going to totally screw me, but I'll just say it. I was working on trying to get one of these. The Complex Bored Apes, it's like CMPLX. It's complex without the O, without the E. The Complex Bored Apes. So I'll tell you why I like this. Is because this was the creator of On One's first project. Was this?
So just one quick thing is that it's Oni, like not On One, it's Oni. But go ahead, continue. Sorry to correct you.
Oh, sorry. See, I'm not in. I don't even know what I'm saying. It's not On One, it's Oni. There you go. See, I don't even know what I'm doing. I missed that drop. But anyway, I was doing research and I was looking at it with a buddy, and these blew up because this was what was the artist's name before I messed that up? This was the artist prior project, and these things went off. And what's interesting is that there's like, some of them have 17 copies, some of them have 7 copies, some of them are one-of-ones. But you see these numbers. I don't know if you could zoom in a little bit better, but they're not giving them away. At 9 ETH, you've got to come to play on these things. But I think it goes to show, like, doing research, the first guy who figured this out made a killing. When Oni took off and someone else figured out that Oni had a previous project that looked like this with all these things, someone believed in themselves. They didn't go and ask the whole community. They discovered it and they bought up what they could, and then they start talking about it. That guy doesn't ask for everybody's opinion. He makes his move, and I think, I don't know, just cool to kind of show that. I thought these things were kind of cool looking.
These are sick. These are sick. Unbelievable.
And that's why, like, I know not that the audience cares, but we almost had to cancel because I'm on vacation. I don't know if you can hear it. I'm like sick, run down, mess. But I didn't want to cancel because in a week's time, crazy stuff goes on. These were like 4 or 5 days ago. I think the floor on this might have been like 5, 6, 4, 4.5, something like that. Now it's 9, 10, 12. So P.O., I didn't want to go too long without speaking to you. So that's that.
No problem, man. And dude, we're happy to have you here and appreciate you doing this while you're on vacation. So we only have like a couple more minutes. We've been going for almost 30 minutes. Any other last projects that you'd like to talk about?
I want to make sure I don't miss anything. I was doing some research last night. I love those Complex Bored Apes, because I told you the history of them. I like World of Women. I mean, there's just a lot of chatter about that right now. There's a lot of moves being made in that space. I always go for like certain traits that I don't know that everybody else goes for. If I would have went for Gary he did, I would have bought the goddesses, and probably idiot that was like, I don't know if I should buy those. I think I even wrote that in his Discord. Those are worth a gazillion. But I like the World of Women. I like the blue ones. I like the cyber green ones. I just think it's cool. I think like if I'm like a tech CEO, like I want to be rocking one of these World of Women's. Any of them. It doesn't matter. I think they're pretty cool. What else is cooking over there? Let's just talk about apes. We didn't even talk about Bored Apes. That's like my favorite thing out of everything. Last week I was pitching hard on Twitter. Before this run up, you can look at my track record, no BS. I was saying apes are gonna go, apes are gonna go. I didn't think they'd go this much. I'll be the first to say it. I didn't think it was gonna go like this. We were at like 13, 14, 15. I was like, last ape under 15, we're gonna get to 20 soon. I didn't think we'd be talking about 3 apes under 38 or 4 apes under 38. I'm so obsessed. I bought apesfloor.com and I made it like automatically check the floor. So if you go to apesfloor.com, try to show that, you'll see the floor on OpenSea of all the apes. I did the same for gutters too. Gutterfloor.com will show you the floor.
Wow, a redirect. Nice.
Yeah, just redirects. It makes it easier to check this if you're going to check it every 10 minutes like me. What do you think of the apes? Do you think they have another runway up, 2x up, or do you think this is unsustainable? And I'm the biggest ape, so let me.
The audience is gonna get a kick out of that question because like I don't like to talk about the apes because I didn't buy any like an idiot. But I think the apes, the sky's the limit. I think that professional athletes, musicians, rappers, people in pop culture like the apes aesthetically more than CryptoPunks. I think institutions we're gonna see start buying CryptoPunks. So if anything, CryptoPunks might be the Bitcoin of the space, and then the apes are the Ethereum of the space. But I think that there could be a pullback at some point, but I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if that's a rip from here up to like a 60 ETH floor, and then the pullback is down to 45 ETH. So I don't know what it looks like. I think
you think we're pretty safe in the 30s. It's not just going to drop to 20s out of nowhere.
I have no idea. They haven't been auctioned yet. The mutant ape thing is about to come out. This whole NFT bull season. Yeah, the whole NFT bull season, in my opinion, is going to keep ripping through the end of this year. I have no idea what kind of hysteria, what kind of absolute mayhem is about to come, especially for Bored Apes. I mean, apes and punks, who the hell knows what's going to happen, man? It's nuts. It really is nuts.
It is. And it's interesting you say you think that pop culture may be favoring the apes over the CryptoPunks in terms of like the aesthetic art value, the aesthetics of it. I mean, apes are freaking cool. It's interesting. I don't know if I should tell everybody, but sure. I was at Disney. I tweeted with, and I was walking around Disney with this shirt on, my ape shirt that I made. And I'm kind of laughing in my head. I don't think anyone who sees it knows what it is. I don't think no one comes up to me at Disney World and goes, "Oh my God, you have a Bored Ape shirt." But I kind of wear it for that reason, because I'm like,
you can gauge, you can figure out if people really know about it.
Like,
mainstream,
it would give me a new data point if someone tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Hey, nice shirt,"
Yeah.
So, so many things. So the apes, I think that there's still some more room to go up. I think that some of the hotter traits are being picked off. And I think just, even if you don't own an ape, just watching what happens on that floor, on those traits, I think it's very telling. It's just interesting, to see what remains at the floor, what took off, what went up a little. Like, I'll just take a trait, holographic eyes, right? When all the apes were 2 or 1.5, I bought holographic eyes because I just noticed that they were priced a little bit more than the floor. Now that everything's exponentially gone up, it's the holographic eyes are like, the floor is like 49 or 48 and the ape floor is 37. So it's kind of interesting if you pick out the right traits at the right point in time. There's a lot of questions from the audience. Plus, I want to do the Twitter thing for the Yeti giveaway. So give me 1 second here. They asked, are we talking about VeeFriends? I didn't even bring up VeeFriends yet. I'm so bullish on VeeFriends. I think Gary Vee is way too quiet. He has a ton of news that's going to come. He's super smart. He's probably having a hard time holding back, telling us all the news. And they're just here. I'll give you a small taste. There was an update yesterday. If you're a VeeFriends holder, there's LPL going on, which is where they're sharing basically they're saying, hey, any artist out there that wants to be part of the VeeFriends community, make sure you give us 555 of your mints, and then we're gonna randomly airdrop that to VeeFriend holders. And they have like 2 or 3 of these projects that are gonna be airdropped in the next couple months to VeeFriend holders. I promise you all, I can't imagine this is the only benefit to holding a VeeFriend. This is just the beginning. Mark my words, just the beginning. I can't wait to see what happens with VeeCon and VeeFriends. If you love this community and you love being involved in NFTs, you'd be crazy to not go to VeeCon. That's going to be, in my opinion, the who's who, the what, the everything is going to be at this moment in time where we are. There's going to be a lot to be unfolded in VeeCon, and having some of those VeeFriends, I think, are going to pay off. That's my thought to the audience member that asked about VeeFriend.
I think you're absolutely right. That one stings almost as bad as the apes for me, without question. I actually still think, I mean, VeeFriends at 10 ETH or whatever is still, you know, it's still possible to get one. Like the apes is over $100,000 at this point. It's pretty tough. Someone in the audience said something about art blocks sells. And I'm seeing a move a little bit. If the person in the audience wants to type in a little bit of their thesis on art block cells, I would absolutely love to hear it. I'm not seeing them move the same way flowers are, but I've seen them on Twitter, people posting about them and stuff. I don't know, Sniper, do you know anything about cells?
I don't. I'm not the art block expert. We got to bring someone on that knows art blocks better than us. I think we should. Well, I could try to find someone to come on and help us. But that would be cool because I'd like to learn more. I really just don't know. Like I said, and I think that's okay in my opinion, because it's really hard to be everywhere. You know, you got to be convicted about what you're doing. And sometimes you could get a little bit spread thin if you're just trying to play on everything, you know?
Absolutely. Well, dude, I don't want to hold you for too long. This was great. Any closing thoughts?
I feel like I'm forgetting something because I'm trying to do too much. Let me just see.
Did you do your giveaway?
No, I'm trying to do that now. Maybe if you just give me one more minute. Of course, I'm resetting passwords and that sort of stuff. You know, do you need a password for videos?
Do I need a password for what?
I can just do it when we get offline. I don't want to hold you up. More importantly, I'll just do it as we finish. I'll do the Yeti giveaway and I'll tweet about it. You want to know any great projects under 1 ETH? Yeah, I'd buy an Art Blocks Flowers. That was the first thing PO said. I would go buy one probably get it under 0.6, under 0.5. And if you don't own any Art Blocks, that's your first one. That's great. And then try to get something that looks pretty because they're flowers and they're supposed to be pretty, you know? I think, I know what I was going to say. I agree. I have 2 more things to say. I'll do the Yeti thing offline for everybody. Okay. One is strong signal. I saw last night Top Shot, which, you know, I'm not big in Top Shot. I have a few $100s worth of that stuff. I never got into that in the beginning, but the largest sale ever in Top Shot went on last night. It was a LeBron card for $230,000. That's a good signal for the entire NFT space. The fact that someone's, you know, buying the most expensive Top Shot is great. Because what does that mean next? I expect to hear someone bought the most expensive Bored Ape yet. You know, someone bought the most expensive CryptoPunk. Someone bought the most expensive Beef. It's all going to start, in my opinion, it's a domino effect. You know, the fact that Top Shot had their record sale last night is a bold indicator for me. That, you know, just saying. The other thing that I want to talk about, and I think I have a little egg on my face and a little remorse, is I sold one of my apes. So I had 10, now I have 9. And why did I sell one? Because I'm a big home run hitter. I'm swinging for the fences every single time and a lot of stuff that I do. And a lot of advice I got from just really smart business owners, really smart investment professionals have told me, Evan, oh, you're looking up my stuff. That's one of my accounts. My other one's HBizzleBot. Oh, you're looking at my activity? Uh-oh, you're going to see what I'm up to. But they said, a lot of my really smart friends said, hey, Evan, take some money off the table. You've done really well in apes. It doesn't hurt. You're not going to be right, but, take some money off the table. It's probably the worst thing that I'm listening to, because it's not the worst thing, but for me, it hurts so much because I just want to swing at home runs. So I sold one of my zombie apes for like 25 and a half. What a steal. And some guy out there made a killing. Good for him. I learned a lot in that, and not so much that I lost. It was the emotional, mental feeling of letting go to take some profit off the table. As much as I'm crying, I took $83,000 and put it in my pocket. So It's upsetting because I could have gotten more, it's worth more, blah, blah, blah. But mentally, I had to get comfortable with just taking a profit. It may not be the perfect profit. Maybe I could have sold it at 30 or 28 or 32, but I was in a place in time where I didn't know apes were going to 37 the next day. I didn't sell all 10, but I sold one. I took profit, and I would have made more if I held. So what? I still bought the thing for like 4,000 and sold it for 83,000. Oh, you're looking at it. Oh, right after I sold it, my wife told me, "Oh, why'd you sell that? I love that thing." And I'm like, oh, "Thanks, son. That's great." So yeah, probably not my best move. Not my best move, but mentally, emotionally, like mental psyche, I needed to see what it was like to sell one of these things. And now I know not to fucking do it again. That's all.
This guy's got it listed for 50 ETH.
It's fine. It's fine. You know what? God bless him. You know what? He bought it. He still hasn't sold it, so he hasn't booked a profit. I got $83,000 to count, minus $4, $79,000 to count, while he's trying to figure out what the hell to do with his ape.
Well, that reflection is awesome, man. Well, have a great time on your vacation. Everyone, make sure you follow Evan at NFTSniperBot on Twitter.
HBizzle on the Evan.
Right. My bad. HBizzle on Discord, and SniperBot, NFTSniperBot on Twitter. It's looking like this will be a weekly segment as long as Sniper's down for it. Sounds great. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Let's talk about your Discord, because that was cool. I mentioned on Twitter, hey, this awesome Discord that tells me about what's up. And dude, the outreach, I had 200 people asking me what the Discord was. So I kept sharing NFT culture as the Discord, which people really like. And I'm happy to show that because I get a lot of valuable information. There's a huge laundry list every day of all the drops. And my first piece of advice is, please don't do 12 drops in a day to anyone. Just pick one or two that you like, be convicted, be careful with your ETH, be careful with your money, sell some profits every now and then, get into a good Discord like NFT culture, ask people questions. People want to help each other in there. And follow me, NFTSniperBot on Twitter if you don't, as well as Pio. And we'll see you next week. I'll promise I'll bring more alpha, more research. I'm on vacation, so we did the best we could.
Sounds great, man. And can you stay on for 1 second after I end the stream? I just want to chat with you for 1 minute.
No problem. No, thanks, man.
All right, everyone. Thanks so much for watching. I got the Discord link on the screen. The Discord link's in the description too. Make sure you join it. And yeah, I'll see you guys later, and enjoy your vacation, Sniper.
Thanks, man. Be well. Happy NFTing. Later, guys.